Kilauea Volcano has still not erupted, although increased seismicity and deformation that began early January 31st in the summit area have shifted from the summit to the southwest. Since last night, earthquake activity has been concentrated along the Kilauea fault system southwest of the summit. The Kilauea summit is still under pressure. In recent months, unrest has escalated rapidly, and eruptions could occur in the future if there is no warning. As of this morning, seismicity in the southern caldera area had subsided, and activity was concentrated 5 to 7 miles southwest of the caldera, around Puuko'ea. The depth remained consistent, less than a mile to 2.5 miles below the surface, and the earthquake rate remained at 25 to 30 earthquakes per hour. There were more than 70 localizable earthquakes in the region in the last 3 hours, with magnitudes ranging from a maximum of 3 to less than 1. Some incidents were large enough to be felt by the local community, but none were large enough to cause damage. The Kilauea Peak region is still experiencing high levels of inflation. Nearly 40 microradian changes have been recorded since 4 a.m. on January 31st at tilt gauges near Sand Hill and Uekahuna Cliffs. Both tilt gauges showed highly variable direction and degree of tilt on January 31st, typical of shallow crack growth that can precede an eruption or shallow intrusion. Since early this morning, this tilt measuring tool has shown a more consistent direction and rate, indicating land inflation to the southwest, in the direction of the earthquake. The gradual offset in the tilt signal is most likely caused by shaking of the instrument by a nearby earthquake or rockfall. The level of sulfur dioxide, SO2, gas emissions is still low. Field measurements showed SO2 emission levels of around 70 tons per day on January 17th, similar to measurements in October, November, and early December. The pattern of earthquakes and ground deformation since this morning shows that there is a flow of magma that continues to move beneath the southwest surface of the peak along the Koa fault zone. The Kilauea fault system connects Kilauea's east and southwest rift zones south of the caldera. The fault here looks like a low cliff, or steep ridge. Typically, when magma reaches this area, earthquakes are concentrated at depths of 2 to 2.5 miles. But activity today is more evenly distributed from depths of less than a mile to 2.5 miles. At approximately 7:30 this morning, 3 2.9 magnitude earthquakes occurred south of Puuko'ea at very shallow depths. A period of increased earthquake activity and ground deformation rates is expected to continue in this region. Based on past historical activity, this event will most likely continue as an intrusion, but there is still a possibility that it will end in an eruption.